Now, I think whatever has been happening in last couple of months, there is probably nobody in India will say that we can stay and grow without taking technology leadership. We cannot keep importing all the technology and win. We need to go somewhere else, and this talk is towards this. There has been few misconceptions, and I think it's important to understand that. There is a misconception, Make in India will drive India's growth. Now, Make in India is great. I'm not trying to criticize it. But most Make in India has very little value add. Most components are imported. It is just merely assembled. That is not going to get us to become the leader. Now, the question is, if I take a mobile, and if even a smallest component I want to replace, one of the big fear is this is a 15,000 rupees mobile, you'll replace a 50 rupees component, what if something goes wrong? So basically the manufacturers will not replace. We will have to import that component also from China when we import the design from China. So what we really need to do is design and develop here to be able to become the real growth driver. Our MSME will be in doldrums until we do that. Because only when we design here, the components produced by MSME can be used. There is another misconception, and this partly created by us, that elite educational institutes alone can design. This is all nonsense. I have seen over my last 40 years, it is students from all kinds of college. I call them tier 2, even those who are considered tier 3 colleges. It is the youngsters who come from there. And today, 1 million engineering students graduating. Most of them, you push them, drive them, nurture them. In next few years, you will see the difference. If you don't nurture them, there is a problem. And with this as a background, I started in July after having set up the IITM Research Park and IITM Incubation Cell. I think all of you know quite well that IITM Incubation Cell, by the time I left, we had 350 companies valued at 50,000 crore rupees. After that, I went on to another journey and trying to start going around the country, what is available, how do you take technology leadership. And one of the first companies that I came across was this company called Xterra Robotics. This was driven by some people from IIT Kanpur. A youngster who graduated from IIT Kanpur went and joined the industry, led them, did something, came back and said, today I will like to become a leader in robotics. And there are a whole lot of companies which are now driving this. I met 2 youngsters, graduated from Chandigarh University. Pretty much they told me that we have to only write exam. Nothing else goes on. But they decided that they are going to be somebody different. So what they started doing is that they said they will learn how to do rocket engine. The rockets that Agnikul uses or others uses, can we design those rocket engine? They actually started designing while they were in 3rd year. They failed 12 times. Anybody else would have given up. Fortunately, they did not. Succeeded 13th time. Graduated, already did something of 5,000. And today they are doing a 25,000 Newton engine, threshold space. This is what is going to make a difference going forward. There is another company, Farmland Industries, from hinterland of Karnataka, from Shimoga. I met these people. And there was a youngster who graduated. And then he decided that I'll go back and make farmland equipment which are extremely inexpensive, which are going to be of the kind that otherwise cannot be used, the big tractors cannot be used, and that they started designing this. I'm not going to show the video, we have a limited time. I came across another companies, here from Tamil Nadu, come from very small engineering colleges. But they had the passion that they want to do something in satellite. They were very inspired by Abdul Kalam and others. And they started saying, we would like to make satellite drivers. Today, the fuel there is highly toxic. They said they will do something which is a totally non-toxic, and they will do this. And they have started, they have created a company and doing extremely well. There was a person from Surat, went to a college whose name I had never heard. He graduated with software, did well, but got bored in 2 years, saying, no, this software is all very routine. I will like to drive hardware. And I want India to be hardware technology leader in the next 10, 20 years. And he left everything and started designing all kinds of things, using initially FPGA, then get into IC design. And there are, what I'm pointing out, there are people from all over the country who are doing there. From my own place, this person from was working in a company called Detect, and then he got out and said, I will do Shubham Samant. I am going to make AI engines which are going to be far superior than anybody else, using video, audio, and robotics. At the same time, there was another person, Keshav, sitting somewhere out here. I saw that he has a stall here. He said that he was already heading Bhashini program in India. He said, however, I will like to develop it in such a manner that all the speech to text, text to speech in all 22 Indian language is done on the mobile phone and not on the cloud. If you do it on the cloud, the cost is very high. I will do it on the mobile. And he started doing this. Another set of youngsters, they were students at IIT Madras quite some time back. They were graduated from physics. After several years, they came back to me and said, sir, all the time we are talking about getting designing and developing and doing integrated circuits, but then we have to do tens of thousands of crores of rupees of imports. I will like to make IC machines in India. I will like to design. It is not important whether they succeed or not. I'm telling you, they'll try hard. They may fail multiple times, but they will succeed. It is the kind of drive inside that I can touch the sky. That is what I'm seeing in youngsters. Another set of people, one professor from IIT Bombay and one youngster who was in US, gave up everything, came up recently, said that I will make for the data center the highest bitrate fiber optic link. And I'll design it, I can do it, we don't have to depend all the time on outside the country. Yet another company, I saw it in IIT Gandhinagar, Galanto, which actually makes the gloves to help in rehabilitation. The kind of thing that they are able to achieve in a very short time is unbelievable. And there is another company from IIT Gandhinagar, which is actually working on robotic hand. And the kind of dexterous hand that they have built, it's unbelievable. I have not seen anything like this anywhere else in the world. And yet again, there is a woman I met only recently, about two months back, IIT Guwahati, and she said, I can use the bamboo that is grown a lot in northeast part of the country, and actually can make all kinds of platform, and can replace steel and cement with bamboo. And she is going ahead and doing this. Now, why I'm presenting to you all over the country, you see very, very good startups. I will, in the end of my talk, point out how do you nurture these startups? Why will these startups succeed or fail? One of the important things that happened at IITM Incubation Cell is that most of our startups succeeded. How do you make it successful? But before I do that, I'll go back to how do you become technology leader. Deep tech startups plays a very, very important role in building the nation, and will play a very important role in building the nation. How does one go about taking up big challenges and become technology leader? This was a question that was posed to me by various industrialists who came together for immersive, I tell immersive technology and entrepreneurship labs, and say, we would like you to drive India to the leadership. What does it take? Basically, we have 150,000 scientists in the country, spread over all the educational institute, all the research labs, and also in some in industry. But most of them publish paper, occasionally a patent. Very few actually translate. Then, as I pointed out, there are large young talent, very, very good talent. If you can nurture them, they can do wonders. So the key thing is to take them and focus on large Indian problems. Large Indian problems which otherwise everybody will say has no solution. You have to start with problems which have no solution and then go all out to solve them. And once you solve them for India, you can solve them for the world. And this is what you have to do. You have to create consortium. And this consortium will have a tech leader, will have a economic leader, and will have a business operation leader. But far more important, it will have 8 to 10 multi-institution, multi-discipline scientists. I think that unless the scientists work together, individual scientists, or even scientists from one institution can only achieve so much. But you get 8 to 10 from different institutions, they can start trying to solve impossible problem. And you get 10 to 15 young startups with a lot of energy saying, we will go ahead and do this. And then you start doing wonders. Let me start pointing out the kind of things that we are talking about. For example, urban water. Urban water logging is a major problem. With GHG emission, more and more cities get flooded more than one time a year. One of the tasks that we have said, we will eliminate urban water logging. Eliminate urban water logging. Yes, rainfall will be there. We can't do much about it. But can we ensure that all the water that falls on the ground gets drained out? And it looks like an impossible problem. We want to see our cities having no water logging. And we started working on it. We have created a group of youngsters who are saying we will be able to do that. People from across the country, combination of scientists and startups. I'll talk about another problem. Urban transport. In Chennai, it takes an hour 15 minutes to travel 15 kilometers. Bangalore, it takes longer. Pune, it takes even longer. Bombay, Ahmedabad, you name city after city, this is a major problem. And we said, we like to solve this problem. We like to see that 15 kilometers you can travel in 20 minutes. From you leave your home, in 20 minutes, you should be able in your office as long as your office is within 15 kilometers. If it is in 20 kilometers, you may take 24 minutes, not much more. And it looks absolutely impossible problems, and we are determined that we will solve the problem. We have gone ahead. For the last 2 years, we have been working on it. We have today are able to have a lab prototype, something which is placed at IIT Research Park. And the lab prototype is working, all simulation done, all costing estimate done. We have the solution. We are now making a full-size system. A full-size system which we plan to deploy in OMR in Chennai in next 3 months. A full-size system. And then we plan to go to Sri City. At Sri City, we plan to put this on an elevated track, and we will have that deployment done by before the end of next year. And we already are starting to get orders from city. Chandrababu Naidu from Andhra Pradesh came, saw whatever, say Amravati is the first place that you need to do. But there are many others who are saying it should be done in some other places, and we will be actually taking it up. I can take, and again, the key thing is building a consortium of people who can actually deliver. Assistive technology, a major problem. A large number of people in India have problems for different cases. And there are a large number of companies that we have helped create and we are actually doing. But you know what we are doing in recently? There are, on the average, about 5 children are born in every district, every week, which have hearing impaired. Our objective is, in next 4 or 5 years, we will see that no such child will be left with that. we will solve that problem. All the technology required will be able to develop. Towards the end, I'll talk about what does it take for startup to succeed. Why it happened that at IIT Incubation Cell, we are able to create startup after startup. There is a very strong structured program that we created. And we today are implementing that in ITEL. You start by creating excitement. Excitement at colleges that by creating build clubs, that you can build things. That's the step number one. Get them out of their classroom. Let me tell you, even when we teach at IITM, many students don't attend classes. But when we create these kind of build clubs or other things, they are youngsters who spend 70, 80 hours a week trying to build things. This is like a Lego model. This is how we have to start. They have to learn to build. After that, we do that. We take them into our incubation. And that's the time we have to ask them hard questions. Very often, people come, oh, we'll be able to earn a huge amount of money. What we really have to point out that most people fail. And even if you succeed, you'll have to fail 3-4 times before you succeed. No success in entrepreneurship takes place without multiple failures. So we actually try to figure out, does the youngster know how to fail? How often have they failed? Do they know how to get up after failure? If they do not know how to get up after failure, they will not go anywhere. The next thing that we do, they prepare the startup for long haul. And here, a very, very important formula that I have learned and I have used is easy funds hurt. Most incubators just throw money thinking that things will happen. Easy funds hurt. We really provide space, services, seed funds are important. And you train the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur need to be a master of all trade. They need to learn lots of things. You provide them funds, even seed funds, small amount of funds in small pieces. Let them grow and show something. As they grow something, help them raise funds. Early, easy fund hurts. Inculcate certain discipline. I have found one thing that works very well is from day one, every month you have a board meeting. On a fixed day, fixed hour, 4th Thursday, 3 p.m. And you even tell them what the slides will be. The first slide is what went well, what went so-so, what did not go well. Second slide, minutes of the last meeting and action taken. The next slide is financial. Balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, payable, receivable. Even if they have zero, let them be blank, but let them learn how important. No company ever succeeds without handling that. Then comes the product update, manufacturing, delivery, HR. What is your current team? Why are they staying with you? How do you handle that? And then they require very strong mentors, preferably mentors who have themselves gone through the startup journey. That is the key thing that works. And then the final thing is deep networking amongst founders. The startup is a very lonely journey. They need to lean upon each other. You need to create that kind of thing. My last startup, nurturing startups cannot be done in a hurry. Very often, several governments come and tell, oh, I want to do it in next 1 year. Things don't happen in a hurry. You have to give them time. You have to give 5 years, 10 years to really make a difference. What we started in around 2004-05 is now showing up. We started around 4-5, 10 years it got there, 10 years again it multiplied by 10 times. Today again it can multiply by 10 times. The number alone does not have much of the meaning. We have to, the startups can contribute significantly to India becoming technology leader, requires consortiums of researchers and startups. The last point that I want to make, all activities must be done with a business sense. When we started Research Park, we started with small seed money. And then we built upon them by taking loans. Bank gave us loan because we had a financial plan. And we stuck stuck to that financial plan. Your very, very important is that everything must be run like a business enterprise. You can't keep on depending on either funds from the government or even from venture funds. Nobody will forever give you money. If you learn that easy money hurts, you can make a difference. Government, I strongly believe, should be an enabler. Should never be the manager, because this is not something that the government can do. It is, they should be enabler, and that is what I believe Startup Tamil Nadu is doing. And thank you once again for this fantastic setup and fantastic program that you have created. Thank you very much.